Hey y'all, so this session is about why you're better at opening presents than you are at being in their presence. And so when we're thinking about this, we're thinking about vulnerability and true intimacy. And a lot of times we think we're really good at getting vulnerable and being real and being intimate with people. But we think about that in I'm real about the facade that I show people, and intimacy looks like sexual connection. And the reality is that you can't be truly and authentically intimate and you can't be truly and authentically vulnerable if you're not truly and authentically being you. And so that means having flaws, being able to admit those flaws, having a past, being able to talk about that past without having the weight of shame on your shoulders, having experienced life and knowing that every step that you made wasn't perfect. It's your ability to be human. And when you can be human, then you can be truly vulnerable with someone. You can show them your flaws. You can show them those areas that you aren't proud of. You can show them your opportunities for growth. And when you do that, that's when you experience true intimacy. That's when you know you're being loved for who you actually are. And that's when you know that someone is loving you, the real you, even including all of the negative things, the flaws, all of the things that you deem something that makes you broken. And you can't have any of that if the only thing you're good at is receiving the gifts that they give you and not really being able to be in their presence. And so why do we do that? Well, the first reason is that when we receive gifts, it feels like validation, right? And so we're looking for this external way to fulfill an internal worth, which never works, right? So like no matter what we do outside of us, we will never fulfill this internal worth. And that's why you see all of these celebrities and people who we deem lucky because they have true wealth. That's why you see them still having emotional angst, because no matter how much money you have, you may be able to pay your bills, you may be able to buy friends even, but you're experiencing this shift where it's like, I used to know that the people in my space actually valued me and wanted to be around me, but now I have money and I'm not really sure if they want me to be here for me or if they want to be here to receive the benefit of my wealth. And so you'll see that they have a ton of friends and they're around a ton of people, but they still internally feel lonely. And the reason that that exists is because there's no form of external validation that will fulfill your internal inadequacies. You will never feel worthy in here because it'll always be contingent upon whether people are giving you something externally. But that's the reason why receiving gifts is so much easier than being in somebody's presence. Because if you receive a gift, it's like, oh, here's this thing that makes me feel like I'm worthy because it has a monetary amount attached to it. So therefore, if this person purchased this for me, then they must think I'm worthy of this thing that whatever the dollar amount attached to it says that I'm worthy of. But you never fully experience what self-worth is like because oftentimes the things that cost the least amount of money, but with the most intention, are the things that make you understand that you're truly valued by the people around you. If they know that, I've had this happen before. I'm currently wearing the watch, but someone bought me a watch that tracks your calories and all of these things. And I previously had explained to this person that the reason that I got rid of the first one that I had is because it really messed with my eating disorder tendencies. And so I didn't want to be able to track every single calorie that I was burning in a day because I would get obsessed with it and start doing the eating disorder tendencies again. But it was something that he wanted to make sure that I had, and so therefore he purchased it anyway. Even though this gift was very expensive, it didn't feel like I was being valued because I had shared something that was very vulnerable with that person and they pushed it to the side in an effort to buy me something expensive because to them that gift should have made me feel loved. And instead it made me feel unseen. I wasn't ungrateful for the gift, but it just made me feel unseen. And so a lesser expensive gift that was more intentional might have changed that, right? And so those gifts aren't ever going to make you feel the worth that you're trying to feel inside. In fact, someone can buy you a million gifts but never truly see you, and you're going to eventually notice that, and it's not going to feel good. The second one is that relationships are invasive. So you have to be ready to be vulnerable with somebody if you want to have a true healthy relationship. Gifts are easier to receive than being in someone's presence when you don't want to truly get vulnerable with somebody and you don't want to be in a situation where they're asking you questions and delving deep into the innards of your being. Because one, you don't think that that person is worthy enough. So you don't want to share who she truly is. And two, you're carrying the weight of shame around. So you think that if somebody sees who you truly are, they're not going to love you because you don't love yourself because of those things. It is never going to be a healthy relationship if that person is in the relationship with your representative anyway. So the best thing you can do is get truly and fully vulnerable, all the way vulnerable with somebody to see if that relationship in its vulnerable state, in its invasive state, actually feeds you. Because again, someone can buy you a million presents, you can receive a million gifts from them, but if you can't truly be you in their presence, then what's the point of the relationship in the first place? You just have a ton of really nice things, but you don't have somebody to support you with your emotions and when you're lonely, and you still feel lonely in those spaces too. And the last one is you don't know your worth, and being present requires you to just value you. And so when we think about being vulnerable and being present in a situation, we have to actually resolve that we bring something to the table for someone else to sit with. And if we don't truly believe that, if we don't truly believe that sitting with us is an asset to the person that we're in the relationship with, then we'll probably be like, okay, well, let's keep this on this surface level of buying each other really nice gifts that we saw on, social media. And they said that everyone who's our age likes this gift. But I don't think that you're going to actually value me for me. So I'm not going to just be present with you because that doesn't feel like I'm going to have enough to sustain this relationship with this person. So I would really encourage you to think more deeply about how valuable you actually are. No matter how many mistakes you've made, no matter what your past looks like, no matter how many times somebody has told you who you are, that's not really who you are, but you've internalized it, you are more valuable than any gift that you could receive or give to another person. You are more valuable than that, and so therefore holding it as a facade is truly withholding the gift that you have to give another person, the most elaborate gift that you have to give them, the most precious and valuable gift that you have, which is you. If you don't truly see that, I encourage you to take a step back and really see you through the lens and the eyes of the people who love you and surround yourself with more of those people. And really step back and take a true look at who God says you are, the gifts that He's given you, the things that He says to you, the love letters He writes to you when you're sitting alone with Him. Because when you do that, you will realize the value that you bring to the table, and you will realize what it looks like to be valued. You won't need to receive gifts of monetary value because you'll be able to be in somebody's presence because you'll recognize that that is truly a gift. Thanks for tuning in. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to this page and go onto my social media platforms and do the same. Also, don't forget the Peace Podcast comes out every Monday on all social media platforms and on YouTube. And go ahead and visit my website. And if you haven't already and you'd like to get a gift for someone for the holidays coming up, and you know that they're going through a healing journey and you'd like to get them something to help them with that process, my book, Poems to Heal the Dead Things, is a book of poetry and journaling that can do just that. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time.